Hi, everybody. This is Dave Jones with Storm Center Communications and GeoCollaborate. It's Thursday, September 4th, 2025. This is an update for the All Hazards Consortium, Sensitive Information Sharing Environment. And we're going to be looking at two ongoing tropical systems and one that may impact the Lesser Antilles several days from now. The first system I'm going to cover is Hurricane Kiko. And Kiko right now is a major hurricane. Let's get right to the stats. You can see the actual eye reappearing here. All day it's been going through a eye wall replacement cycle, which has weakened it slightly during the day. Slightly. It was 130 miles per hour. That is a Category 4 hurricane. And right now it looks like it's really starting to get more convection around the center, and the eye is clearing out. So I suspect that this is going to be upgraded in its wind conditions very, very shortly. Let's take a look at the latest information full screen. This is Hurricane Kiko as of 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Winds make it a Category 4 major hurricane. Kiko is still a Category 4 and could become a little stronger. Interests in the Hawaiian Islands should monitor Kiko's progress. This is now an official statement from the National Hurricane Center, and it's something that we're watching very closely as well. Located 13.9 north, 134.6 west. That's 1,410 miles east-southeast of Hilo, Hawaii. Maximum sustained winds, 130 miles per hour, which does make it a Category 4 hurricane. Minimum central pressure, 951 millibars, and it's moving to the west at 9 miles per hour. The next advisory will be issued by the Hurricane Center at 5 p.m. Hilo time, or Hawaiian Standard Time. That'll be 11 o'clock tonight. This is the convection around the center. I've enhanced this imagery as well, so you can see these strong thunderstorms, very cold cloud tops rotating around the hurricane. It is a very symmetrical system, maybe a little bit of wind shear here, but you can see this is building out now. I think this storm is going to be a little bit stronger by the 11 o'clock advisory tonight. Let's turn on the enhancements, or turn off the enhancements, so I can show you what the visible satellite image looks like. And look at that eye in there. It's starting to clear out. We can get a little bit closer, and you can see here right near the 135.0 degree longitude line, the eye starting to clear out. Thunderstorms are making the air sink in the center as pressure drops. We can also see these clouds spinning around here very, very quickly. You do not want to be anywhere near this hurricane in the Pacific Ocean, and thankfully there aren't many vessels in that area. Waves are incredibly strong right now. We don't have, and large, we don't have ocean observing systems right under the system here, but as it gets closer to Hawaii, and it does get closer to some, we'll certainly show you what they look like. Now I want to shift over to Tropical Storm Lorena. Lorena has crossed that 26 degrees sea surface temperature isotherm. That's about 79 degrees Fahrenheit, meaning it's now over waters that are too cool to power the storm and will actually work to weaken it. It'll work against it. And Lorena now is also experiencing about 20 knots of wind shear. I'll point this out right here. You can see almost the low-level circulation is exposed. Look, the winds are blowing the tops this way. So 20 knots of wind shear from the southwest are blowing the clouds quicker once they get up to the mid and high levels, well up into the Sonora part of Mexico and into the southwest U.S. Here is Arizona, and here is New Mexico. This does not mean, however, that the heavy rain and the flash flood potential has diminished. Let's take a look at the latest advisory from the National Hurricane Center for Lorena. Here we go. Tropical Storm Lorena. The risk of life-threatening flash flooding continues for Baja California Sur and also southwestern Sonora. That's a state in Mexico in the northwestern portion of Mexico. The storm is located 24.6 north, 114.8 west. That's about 155 miles west of Cabo San Lazaro, Mexico. It's kicking up waves, believe me, but it looks like the models are winning out on this one with the forecast over the last couple of days, really wanting to weaken Lorena before it made landfall. And indeed, it's staying to the west of Baja California, and it is weakening. Maximum sustained winds right now, 50 miles per hour. Minimum central pressure, 996 millibars. Movement to the northwest at 7 miles per hour. So it has not begun any sort of turn yet. There is one expected here coming up shortly, but you can see as I've turned on the sea surface temperature data, these green colors represent quite cool temperatures. These sea surface temperatures and hurricanes or tropical storms do not mix very well. It really needs that gas, that high test gasoline, this red down here, to really fuel the engine. And when it gets into cool waters, boy, that's like cutting the gas line off. That's good news, but you can see the storms and the rain really pouring into Baja California here, where there is localized flooding going on there now. The next advisory from the Hurricane Center will be at 11 o'clock tonight. Okay, now I'm going to shift to the east because we're going to talk about this new system that actually has a designation now. 91L is the invest, and I'm going to point that out. And 91L is right here. And that's what we're going to be watching over the next several days, because the National Hurricane Center has indeed given this a high probability of developing into a tropical system over the next 7 days. And I'll show you that on GeoCollaborate. But right now on the satellite imagery, it's dark. The sun has set over 91L as it moves towards the west. There's no closed circulation, so it does not have a name. Don't pay attention to anyone who tells you this system has been named. It is not. It only gets a name designation when it becomes a tropical storm. And who are the ones that do that? The National Hurricane Center out of Miami, part of the National Weather Service. If you notice real quickly, and I'm going to stop this loop here and take it back just a little bit, because I want you to notice something with the sun on the western horizon. Look at all this Saharan dust out here off of Africa. That is really a lot of dust. Look how thick it is here because the sun is setting. A lot of dust there, but this 91L has its own little cocoon of moisture that it's going to take along with it as it traverses the Atlantic Ocean. And I'm going to show you tomorrow, I'll show you the total precipitable water and all that sort of stuff as it moves across the ocean. We're not going to do that today, just so I can make this a little bit shorter. But this is the area that we're watching that looks like it's going to be on a westerly track here, but we don't have a center of this system. Once the National Hurricane Center sees a center of circulation and says, okay, this is depression, then they can have an estimate of the center. That will go into initializing the models much more accurately, and then those models can take and grow the system and move it in whatever direction that they choose because of the environmental conditions. We do have a big high pressure system up here to the north, and that's going to create a block like high pressure systems do while this system is down here. So we do expect a westward trek of this tropical wave over the next several days. I've widened out here now on GeoCollaborate, and you can see that area where the Hurricane Center expects development to happen, and you can see that it is now touching part of the Lesser Antilles, including Barbados. So while this system is still far away, it would be prudent for any of you living in Barbados and any of the Lesser Antilles to make sure you have that hurricane kit together, have your plans together, what you're going to do if a storm does move towards you, and make sure that you know where you're going to go if you live in vulnerable housing. make sure that you have that plan together as this system moves towards you. Now, the Hurricane Center does expect development to happen here, and I can click this and look at the probabilities, share it with you over the next 2 days, a 60% chance of forming, and look at this, a 90% chance of a system forming over the next 7 days. So a very high chance in here that we're going to see a tropical depression and a tropical storm. Not necessarily a hurricane, but we'll see as time goes on. This is where this system is expected to be headed. It could enter the Caribbean. It could follow the northern area here like Aaron did and start to recurve, or it could continue on this way towards the Gulf. All bets are off the table as to which one is going to happen because we don't have a name system yet that really helps to initialize the models correctly. Okay, let's go over, since we have GeoCollaborate open here, let's go over here and dive into Kiko because Kiko is showing more of a threat to the Hawaiian Islands. And this is the latest forecast from the National Hurricane Center. And you can see the area in purple and red and orange. This is the highest probability that tropical storm force winds will be felt in this area. And that makes sense. It's close to the center of this area. But let's get a little bit of closer in here. You can see that the big island of Hawaii and Oahu, Honolulu here is right on the end part here of the low percentage. But it is in line and it is within the uncertainty of the forecast that Kiko could have an impact on the Hawaiian Islands. It is suggested that everyone living in Hawaii, all the islands, make sure that you know what you're going to do if a storm threatens, where you're going to go if you live in a vulnerable area, and what important documents and medicines and things like that you may want to take with you. There is no watch or warning in effect for Hawaii right now, but the forecast has been rather consistent that the storm is going to take this path and impact the islands. Now look what's happening here with Tropical Storm Lorena. It is weakening and weakening pretty quickly. Tropical storm force winds are not even expected anymore to impact Baja California here, but the radar data is picking up rain moving in and over the mountains. So we do have flood watches in effect in central and southern Arizona, including Phoenix and Tucson, and also in southeastern California. These are desert areas, so it doesn't take much rain at all to create flash floods. Okay, what about the forecast here? We've been watching the global forecast system, the GFS model from the National Weather Service. We've been looking at all of the models as well. And remember what I said yesterday, and I'm very consistent about this. We stick with the official forecast from the National Hurricane Center. When a storm gets within 2 to 3 days of making landfall, we will show some more model visualizations of wind field and waves expected to be generated and things like that. But right now, we're not going to be doing that. I will show you the GFS model and what it's doing for the next 3 to 4 days with this tropical wave that's expected to develop here over the next 2 to 7 days. I'll put this into motion. This is from this morning's 12Z run, which is about 8 o'clock this morning. And you can see this is the area of low pressure that is expected to develop into a tropical system. And this is now Friday night, so tomorrow night into Saturday morning. And then you can see it sort of takes a little bit of time to get itself together. And then it does become a low pressure system, looks like a little bit stronger, but we're already talking about 12Z, which is 8 o'clock a.m. on Tuesday. So next week on Tuesday, we're expecting that we might have a tropical storm or a hurricane here to the east of Barbados and the Lesser Antilles. This is where I'm going to stop this animation. The only thing I'll point out here are these two major players a huge high pressure system over the Atlantic Ocean. That's going to act like a block, and it is forcing this system to move to the west. And then a reinforcing strong high pressure system that's going to be dominating much of the eastern U.S. will also be slipping off the coast and rebuilding this high pressure wall. So anything that's going to be moving in this direction will likely take a southern track as these high pressure systems kind of merge together and we sort of get that blocking high to the north. So that's what we're looking at right now. Any of the spaghetti models and all that stuff, we're not going to be showing it because we're going to be talking about the official forecast from the trusted National Hurricane Center. Just one other point as well. You may see on social media, on YouTube and others trying to put out forecasts of 300 hours in the future, 200 hours in the future, even more than 300 hours, showing big storms here and there making landfall. That is just one particular model, and they're only putting that out there to make you watch the video, click on their post or whatever. Don't do it. It's very misleading because numerical weather prediction models will do things way out in the future that are beyond the science of accurate prediction. It does give us an idea for things to look at, to think about as potential scenarios, but we don't communicate that to folks like you who need to make decisions 5, 6, 7 days ahead of time because it's likely not going to happen. That's why we show you the next 3 to 4 days and also stick with the official National Hurricane Center forecast. I've widened out here just to show you where Hurricane Kiko is right now and the island of Hawaii. There's the big island right there in the upper left-hand part of your screen and the whole Hawaiian island chain. We're going to be watching with a laser focus on what Kiko is going to be doing over the next several days. Kiko is forecast to approach the Hawaiian Islands during the early to middle portion of next week. The risk of direct impacts from wind and rainfall is increasing. However, it is too soon to determine the exact location or magnitude of these impacts. Interest there in Hawaii should continue to monitor the progress of this storm. I'm Dave Jones with Storm Center Communications and GeoCollaborate. Thanks so much for watching this update. Please take care of yourself and take care of your neighbors. They really do appreciate it. We'll see you tomorrow.